Hey everyone. So I have already done a lot of work today that took a lot of my energy. So I still wanted to do this. I'm going to be doing building a business around you is pretty much the focus of, this month, and how you can build a business based on you. So instead of listening to this podcaster and this coach and this coach and this coach, hey Audrey, you focus on building your business around you so it can continue to grow and you still enjoy it. Whereas lots of times people end up hiring this coach and doing what they want and then getting burnt out, and then hiring this coach and doing what they want and then getting burnt out. But the truth is that they didn't really align with those strategies or those techniques. And so after so long, they just couldn't keep up with it because they didn't enjoy it. And my philosophy is that I want to enjoy my business. I want to enjoy the process and the strategies. And when I don't enjoy it, and when I hate it, and when I start making all these rules up in the business that I have to do, hey Ashley, how are you doing? Then I start not being as productive, and I start not doing the right things. I make less money when I'm trying to live by everybody else's rules. So what I did in my business is I've learned the basics of marketing, the basics of sales, the basics of posting, the basics of Instagram, okay? So I understand how sales work. So everybody that has a business needs to understand the basics of sales, hands down, okay? So what is that? The basics, to the bones, basics of sales is understanding, first of all, introducing yourself. They got to get to know you. And then understanding who you're talking to on the phone. Understanding what their pains and problems are. So asking them questions. This is for any type of sales. I used to be in an inside sales job, just, taking calls and selling maybe 20 calls a day, and my conversion rate was about 30%. Whether or not maybe it was available or blah, blah, blah. So I understand sales. And then I've also done sales conferences, and I was a waitress, and I did sales trainings and all these things. So I understand the basics of sales. But in my own business, I've learned so many things. But what the topic is today is that you can make sure that you enjoy your sales process. It may be uncomfortable at the beginning, but you should enjoy it. So asking questions is the needs audit. No matter what you're selling, you have to ask the person on the other end the questions. You have to understand them, where they're at in their business or where they are in their life, whatever it is. Understand their pains and their problems. And then you want to understand their goals. You can't be selling the best TV service or the best coaching program if you don't understand the person on the other end of the phone. And even though you think you may know what the person needs, they need to tell you. Because, for example, if I get on a phone call with somebody and I go look at their Instagram and I'm like, oh my gosh, their Instagram is a mess. They suck at marketing. They're not good at this. They need this. And so in my head, I think I can already solve their problem. I already know what I should pitch them. But this is not the way to go. It is good to research your customer ahead of time. Kind of get an idea, is this a good target audience? Is this who I'd possibly want to work with? How could I help them? Great. Yes, you should do that. But you want them to tell you their problems. Because let's say that I get on the phone call with them and I have this preconceived notion that they want a business coach and a marketing coach. And I'm like, I know what I'm going to pitch them. And then you get down to it and I get to pitching them and they're like, no, I'm not interested. And they were interested in confidence coaching, or they were interested in a group coaching, or they were interested in maybe working a short time. So instead of just doing a one-size-fits-all strategy, I like to build my sales process around me and then also understanding the client, okay? So like I said, let's say I'm like, okay, they need help with marketing. But I get on the call and I actually uncover what they need help with, and they need help with confidence in their business. They need help with sales strategy. So whether or not you think you know, you got to have them tell you, because it may be different from what you think. Or I also do confidence coaching. So let's say I get it in my head that they need a business coach, and then I jump on and I try and pitch them as a business coach, but then what they really wanted was confidence and sexy confidence help. Whereas if I would have asked them questions and asked them what they want and how they want to buy, then they could have told me, and then I would have sold them the right thing. So another thing is that a one-size-fits-all sales strategy is just not the way to go, because people buy in different ways. Some people like to do lots of research. Some people like to buy on the call. Some people are impulsive. Some people like to buy in payment plans forever. Like no matter what, they will always do a payment plan. Whether or not they have the money in the bank, whether or not it's smarter, they will always do payment plans. So don't try and change your customers. Sell them in the way that they want to buy. This is a $1 million sales technique, is selling the customer the way they want to buy. Write that down. Selling the customer the way they want to buy. This is for huge tens of thousands, of hundred thousands, $1 million deals. Like, that's how you do it. You learn your customer, you learn their strengths and weaknesses, and you find a way that they want to buy. And then you do it their way, not your way, because that's where you stay in like the 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 20, 30% conversion rate. Whereas if you understand the customer, you sell in a way that they want to buy, and you fully understand them, you're gonna have a lot higher conversion rate. And I'm talking like 80%, okay? So a lot of coaches, they teach this one-size-fits-all strategy. They're like, okay, I have a 20K, 10K deal, and that's it. Yes, that can work. And yes, they can have, a big long form to fill out, to weed out a bunch of people. But if you're just getting started in your business, that is going to be a lot harder. And I like to build my business for a long-term future. And I want to get in contact with as many people as I possibly can, because if they don't buy now, they might buy later. And the more connections I have on DM, person to person, in person, networking, live video, phone call, then I'm building that one-on-one close connection with my people, where they don't do that with a lot of people, because people have this weird thing about getting on calls. They don't want to be sold. And so that comes to my next tip, is to make it a no obligation. Like what, you're going to make somebody buy from you? No, people don't like to feel uncomfortable, and people don't like to be sold. So the best thing to do is make it comfortable, as comfortable as as comfortable as possible for them. Take out the obligation and tell them that, like, hey, this is no obligation call. Let them know you're gonna tell them how they can work with you if you guys are a good fit, and go from there. So, going back to no obligation, is let them know on the call, like, hey, this is no obligation. I'm going to go over kind of your strengths and your weaknesses, see if we're a good fit, and see if I can help you. And if not, that's okay. I am so happy to connect with you, and go from there. And also, for me personally, I've found at this point in my business, I do actually enjoy getting on calls, but I don't enjoy getting on calls when I feel this pressure to make a sale. So what I do is I also take the pressure off of me. Because when you have this big pressure over you and you're like, oh my God, like, oh, I just got a sales call. I have to jump on and just like prove myself and just like I have to get this client. Like, whoa, you're gonna make a lot of pressure. It's gonna be overwhelming. You're probably not gonna enjoy it that much. So for me, I've made it fun. So I ask myself and ask yourself, how can you make your sales process more fun? How can you make jumping on calls more fun for both of you? So what I did is something that I'm great at is marketing and sales. Okay, like I can look at any website, any Instagram feed or social media and give people some tips on how to close more sales and attract more clients, whether it's a product-based or service-based business. And so what I did recently was, hey everybody, I'm doing marketing audits. This is completely no obligation. And I will give some good high value to them that they could take away from the call, and then bam, they think of me next time they have a marketing or sales question. Or I give them some great content that they can come back to me or refer me to other people. And this is a long-term strategy because maybe they don't buy from me then and they're not ready, but now they have some connection with me and they understand me and I've built some credibility that they will come to me in the future. And this was the biggest thing that I wish I utilized more at the beginning of my business 2 years ago. It's like jumped on more calls and didn't make it a big deal. Didn't make it this big selling thing. I just made it like, hey, I'm just getting to know my audience, how I can help them. And then, yeah, if you guys are interested, I will offer you some services. And then note right here, write this down, is sell them the way they want to buy. So ask them. Yeah, you can actually ask the person on the phone. Be like, hey, I like to understand my clients and how do you usually buy? Are you like a long-term or you like to analyze and look at reviews and you like to really like deep down like analyze it and think about it? Or are you more like, ooh, I feel this feels great, and you go like for sure. Also, you can ask, do you like more payment plans or are you more of like, I like to pay in full? Ask these questions. Get to know your audience. Yeah. So that's a very good strategy to use and questions to ask. Also, some people, no matter what, are not gonna buy the big, huge deal, the best service, okay? So it's always good to offer multiple options and highlight the one that you recommend. But I'm just telling you, I have coaches I've been following forever and they're like 10K, 20K, and I'm sorry, I probably will never hire you. But if they like let me get a taste of what it was like to work with them, maybe it's a week or a month or 2 months, I would work with them and then maybe work with them longer. But the fact that I have to like go all in and it's like $10,000 to $20,000 and I don't really know them or how they work or if I work well with them, they may never get me as a client. So for me, like I said, this is more high-level sales. This is more like I want to help as many people as possible and get paid and close more people on the call. I'd rather help, instead of getting on the call with 10 people and closing 2, I'd rather get on the call with 10 people and close 8. And maybe one of them I'm helping at this price range for a shorter time, and then, like maybe I'm doing this person for a month, I'm doing this person for 3 months, I'm doing this person for 6, okay? So I find it very helpful to offer 3 solutions. Good, better, best. This is what I recommend most because this. This is like your bigger package. This is what I recommend based on you. Or you could do this option, or the best option, okay? So that way, you don't lose out on the person that maybe they do not at all want to work with you for 6 months, but that's your only option. Do you really want to lose out on the person if they want to work with you for 2? Would you rather have 0 clients or 1? Also, getting back to everybody's different. Everybody's different, you guys. So stop trying to sell everyone one way. You're losing out on sales. So, for example, you go into a car dealership and there's a person and the car dealer guy is like, oh yeah, like payment plan, the leasing option is the best, this and this and this. Like, oh, this is what you want. This, let's say a coupe. This coupe is what you want. This is what you want. Like telling them what they want. And you should do a lease and blah, blah, blah. But the person is like, I need a family car. I need this minivan. I need this and I want to buy it in full. But he's not solving the customer's problem. You gotta get to know your customer. And then he's trying to sell the leasing option and the payment plan where the person's already ready to go and they want to pay in full. So that's where you have to ask questions. And that's where you have to offer different things based on them, not you. But then last part is I use my intuition in my sales process a lot. So how do I do that? I jump on a call and let's say I can kind of get an idea that they're not ready to buy like my big service or my 4-month plan. And doesn't mean I'm not going to offer it because it's always good to tell, the different options. But you just like have this gut feeling and it keeps popping up. You have this gut feeling like, you know what, you should offer a one-off session or you should offer like a trial. So I did this recently and I have this like really, it just kept popping up is that I should offer like a trial package with me. And so on the call, I let her know. I was like open and vulnerable. I was just like, hey, I just have my, she's spiritual too. So I was like, I have this intuitive nudge to not just only offer you my high ticket 4-month package, but I would like to offer you maybe a trial since this is the first time we spoke. And I let her come up with it. I told her my price. I did tell her my big option. And I also recommended what I would do for her. But then I was like, hey, based on my intuition, I just have this coming up. I want to offer you a trial. Let me know how long that would be. And let me know. And she came back. And I'm pretty sure just a couple days, she became a client. Versus, what if I only told her my high-level option, there was no other option, and she didn't want to just go from just meeting me to a sales call to booking that high-end offer? Okay, I lost out, or I let her do a trial. And guess what? It's great. She'll probably continue to work with me because I'm giving her amazing value and we're a good fit. Okay, so using your intuition. If you get like some inspired idea or a discount or something like that, let them know. But don't forget to do it not in fear. Don't do it in fear. Don't be like, oh my gosh, like there's no way she can afford my 5K, 10K, 3K package. Like, get that out of the way. Let them know what it is. Let them tell you, but also give them other options. Because if they're for your 4-month or your high level package, they're still gonna go for it. But if they're like, oh, like I really wasn't feeling that, I really wanted to do the other offer, they're gonna do it. You can't mess it up, okay? Your clients, the ones that really connect with you, you can't mess it up. They're meant to work with you. But you do gotta know you gotta understand the sales process. You gotta understand how people work and you need to solve their pains. You gotta understand their goals. Okay, so don't forget to uncover their goals. Because let's say we just uncovered all the pains and all the problems and you're like, they're not feeling good. So you gotta be like, okay, now where do you wanna go? What do you want? What service do you want? What package do you want? What would be the best outcome? Paint that picture, and if you can help them get there, then it goes to offering that solution, solving their pain or problem with your service or product, and being confident, being strong, and sharing it with confidence, and letting them tell you any objections. And then don't forget follow-up. Book a follow-up. Book a time to check back on them. Maybe they're like, okay, it's not right now. I'm just not focused on business, or it's just not the time right now. Okay, if it's not, like, you can't just make them. It's not a good sales process. So then book a time. Put it in your calendar when to follow up with them on the call. Let's say they really want to work with you, then book a time to follow up. All right, so last part is, another thing that I do personally is I used to get really overwhelmed with calls, and there was a point maybe like a year ago where I actually didn't want to jump on a bunch of sales calls. I hate the sales calls. That's why I like to do value calls now, because I still enjoy it. I build a relationship, and I like have more fun. And the way I made it be more around me was, okay, I write down the things that you hate in your sales process. What is it? Is it uncomfort? Is it pitching? Like, whatever it is, what is it? Is it that you could just need to practice more? Or is it like, for me, I hated doing video calls at my desk for hours at a time. It just made me feel so stuck. And then it made me feel like I had to get ready, and I had to be pretty, and blah, blah, blah. And you know what, you guys, I usually don't like getting ready. So I found that I kind of put off getting on calls with people. So to make it easier for me, I take calls from the phone. I don't do video very often. I do it from the phone because I enjoy it. I can be walking around, I could be eating, I could be going outside, I could go on a walk. I can take my sales calls wherever. And so that takes away all that angst and that negativity for my sales calls, because I don't have to be ready. I can be walking around the house. I don't have to be sitting, because sitting at my desk for hours was just like not fun. So how can you make your sales process easier? Maybe it's doing a business coaching reading. Maybe it's doing an oracle card during. Maybe it's showing I do a marketing audit. So I like to go through their website or their Instagram or their business, and I like to show my value by giving them some free tips and some audits, some ways to improve their business. This also builds credibility for me. And then they walk away with some good value that they can start incorporating. And then they can come back to me later. Or you do make sales. If you uncover their problems and you can solve them, you can make sales on the call. So there's my tips to building your sales process around you. Let me know what you liked. I'd love to hear, what did you like about this? What questions do you have? Drop them below. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys seriously want some really good value, like some of the crap I've told, not crap, but some of the really amazing stuff that I told the people on my free calls, they've made like $1,000, $2,000 from some of the content that I've told them. Why? Because I'm really good at what I do, and I'm going to be in this business forever. So book a call. I'd love to catch up with you. I'd love to give you some value. There's like literally no obligation, but I want to get to know as many of my tribe as possible while I'm growing my business, because yes, in the future, maybe I will have a long format. I always have tons of clients. I always have a wait list, and I know that's going to come. But for now, I like to get on calls with people and build those relationships and build my long-term strategies. So book a call if you feel it, if you're just a little scared, but you really want to, go do it. The link is in the bio, and I can't wait to talk to you. Have a great day.